Hello, infinite beings. We are supposedly live. Yes, I can see video. Well, I can't see anything. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, the camera is a little bit in front of the screen. That's how one can sort of look at someone. So it's the usual setup to talk to someone. Like now I'm looking at the screen, now I'm looking at the camera. You have to put the camera in front of the screen. The screen could be closer. But yeah, so YouTube is offering free hosting of your videos as long as you don't mind sharing them. Oh, sorry. I should silence that, I guess. How am I going to do it? It's okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, something's not showing up. Oh. So, playback. Well, now I can't see it because it's not making sound. Anyway, I probably don't want to mute it. I'll just close it. So I have my phone here. If you want to get on the show, go on #LegalDragon chat. You might as well join the main channel, Legal Dragon. And from there, find the chat room, which is pretty much vacant right now because this is all brand new in terms of using it. So here's Legal Dragon, right? #Legal Dragon. You'll find it. It's in the public rooms. And then I don't know. I guess you can join Legal Dragon chat publicly, but geez, I'm trying to find everything now. Weird. Oh wow, it was way down. Hey, let's just put a message there, the Goldragon chat. Okay, hey, what's up? And apparently it's January 1st, probably somewhere. Maybe not. Close to. But the real point is the point of Capricorn. On the 1st of Capricorn, on the solstice. So what's happening with the Goldragon? He's not talking enough, right? And Goldragon dot Kriom KRIOM dot me. There it is. Infinite beings. For all to see. Goldragon.creom.me. That's right. There it is. Find him there. It's just a contact page. Matrix is really, I have a presence on Telegram, but I can't upkeep both. So I've stopped upkeeping basically the Telegram infrastructure. Oh, this is a special episode because hopefully I didn't close the stream. This is my style. I just assumed that Where would that be? Goldragon Broadcast. Right. So if you want to see these shows right now, it's on YouTube. There it is. Goldragon at Goldragon Broadcast. Right. So, I should add that to the website. Otherwise, the main YouTube channel is not for these lives because it's a low frequency channel. So I'm going to up the quality of what I release on the main channel. I might even move some videos off to really just keep my best. I've already deleted a lot of stuff because it was just, it's fine. Maybe it would have been wise to keep it for AI purposes. They may still be around. There's probably some of them laying around. So they'll resurface once the Creome finds them. Which is another thing I want to explain in these videos now, so we can do cuts of what comes out. And it's also a way of creating Ulysses packs. So I'm going to talk about that too. So share the live. I know nobody knows. Nobody knows yet. I guess I should, well, it's in the Goldragon channel. So I could share that in my Telegram. So I'm going to do that right now. Goldragon is live. All right. Did they get my thumbnail right? Oh, it's pretty good. They just photograph and a thumbnail. Here, let's give them a nice one. You know, because we like to do some quality work. Well, I wish I could use this, but there's no cable. So let's just do it like this. Screenshot. There we go. I guess, how do I go back there? Edit video. Oh, the chat. Oh, right. Yeah, well, whatever. If somebody wants to take care of that, I'm not gonna right now because it's just a waste of time. YouTube. It's just infrastructure. Fuck them. Sorry. I'm not gonna use that language anymore. So there is a Ulysses pact. I just made one. I just made that pact. So if I'm a warrior now, this statement that I just made just changed my life forever. That's a Ulysses pact. So I'm documenting this stuff. Standard YouTube license. Nope. Creative Commons. Oh, right. The thumbnail, which is not great. Upload thumbnail. Let's make this look good. Video. Oh, I hate this. Stupid interface. Mouse. Screenshot. File is bigger than. Oh, right. How did I do this before? Convert. Right. So. Sorry. Okay. I don't know. Sorry, I'm really just ad hocing this. I should have done it first, but you'll forgive me because no one's watching. Or not yet. So sorry if you are now. Alright, so I've uploaded the thumbnail. Now I can check this. Well, they haven't uploaded it yet, but it should change. So if I'd done that first, now all the previews on all these platforms wouldn't have been cached already. This fingerprint reader is dying on me. Great. Wow, too many attempts. Okay. So like this preview here. Which is the wrong one. So it's great to have the Pixel, which is what I'm using right now. It's a Pixel 4a, which is hilarious. It does better than this 1-inch sensor. I really want a bigger lens for this. It's kind of ridiculous, but anyway, 1-inch sensor, and the software is garbage. Of course, manual focus, but it does have. Does it? Oh no! So I would have to get inside to find. There's a USB interface, so ostensibly you could control a focus that way. But yeah, it has potential once we open the software, because of course the sensor in here is amazing. It's a Sony, I think. Don't quote me on that. Check it out. It has potential. But now the thing to go for is the Zcam, because they actually have professional grade software running, so that we get the black box that works now, and then it's the hardware that is most worth the trouble to purchase right now, in terms of using the open source infrastructure which is about to emerge for everything, including cameras. So yeah, everything will run the Creome, the speaker, the Bluetooth speakers, the Bluetooth headset. Not the Creome, but it'll be one infrastructure, right? So you could say Creos, really, is what I call it. The operating system, Creos, is what runs all of the hardware. Oh, am I cutting out? Dropped frame 0, CPU. I saw some jitter there. So you can see the dark circles. I am off coffee. Now I found some pu'er in the house because there's all this stuff. And there's this huge 12-year story that's... Oh, there I saw the jitter. So, what's jittering? Is it the network? Maybe I shouldn't go through all this stuff. I should hit USB, boom, boom. Anyway, it's all freaking duct tape. So, pu'er tea, the best tea if you drink tea, the only tea worth drinking. You can get it in sort of green style, but it's basically just not pu'er really, which is ironic. But there is fermented tea that still tastes very bitter. I guess I don't know. I don't think it's worth that much research, because in America, especially, well, although in Indonesia, before the First World War, Indonesia was a bigger coca producer than South America. Um, but in America, they'll have the hojas de coca, where it's like comparing coffee and opium, right? It's just who would drink tea who has the coca? So the idea is to just crunch it into a powder and boil it in slightly alkaline plasma, because the coca is an alkaline plant, so it'll make it more welcoming, more compatible for the salts of the coca to merge with the salts of the plasma. So it's a perfect match. So I guess nine and a half, maybe 8.5 alkaline pH, alkalinity, and just warm it up, the crunched up powder, for not long, a few minutes, and then let it cool down, filter it, let it cool down, and then use that in the best tea that you hold, or drink it. So and then the same thing with the mushrooms, just because the framework of the mechanistics, sorry, Willem Reich had termed the right term for all of this, because he had the most broad approach. Quite the genius. Actually, everybody should look into Willem Reich. It's just, I kind of take it for granted, because it was the first really big thing for me. For some people, it was 9/11. For me, it was Willem Reich. So after I turned 15, 16, especially when I went back into it when I was 20, but 18, Rahu got a hold of me. And then when I was 20, 21, it came back really big. And then I went into Ouspensky more. But I kept Willem Reich as a background practice. So I went into Red Tantra to open up by releasing, right? Which is, now it's not what I need anymore. Although it does happen. And it's okay. But it's not really needed anymore. Not really. Like, I would be fine. So here comes the first big Ulysses pact, which is I had this puer that I found, and that's it. Like, I don't need to drink anymore. In fact, I'm surprised. It's better than coffee, than the coffee high, but wow, it's totally not worth it, because I can already feel the Shivambu really makes us superhuman in terms of understanding our bodies. So when I said to Joel that I consider it to be at least as powerful as recapitulation, that's coming from somebody who's basically only done recapitulation as his main body of work, self-work, for 17, 18 years, a whole row. So that's funny, by the way. I just realized that. Wow. And there's all these epiphanies that just keep striking. So learning Spanish. El amor es la vía que el profeta marcó, pues del amor nacemos y amor es nuestra madre. Jeez. Oh, right. El amor es la vía que el profeta marcó, pues del amor nacemos y amor es nuestra madre. Bajo el velo del cuerpo y de nuestro cinismo, oh madre, siempre ocultada, emposada, cubierta. Right, so Spanish is just 100% of my free time after silence, sleeping, a little bit of dreaming. I'm really not pushing the dreaming much. I'm not pushing the body magic much, but I'm sort of switching it around. It's more intense and short, based on a big influence from Lee Wayland, which I'll probably touch on a lot more as time goes by, if I'm given the time to live. So I'm debating, do I carry this thing here? And I gotta be light. So yeah, I'm leaving. I'm getting ready. I have 2 weeks. And all of this stuff that I have to sort out. And I realize now that I know astrology enough that I should have seen the signs. And when I looked at the chart for when Anna was leaving, and I could have maybe said something, and we could have cleaned more stuff up before she left, because it wasn't the right timing, unfortunately. For that kind of stuff. Wow, the fingerprint reader is just not working. Okay. So, right, Ulysses Pack. Because this is how I guess this is how a party is more powerful, because then we make each other liable. That's why we make these promises. They're Ulysses pacts. When we say, like Carlos said, yeah, it's a really good book, The Active Side of Infinity. Anyway, when we're young, we make these promises and we really mean it. And they tie us. So, Santos Bonacci, for example, I relate to him a lot. We're both Ashvins. He's more approaching the point of the Taurus Pada, but I'm approaching the point of the Gemini Pada. So let's say we're in a square in Ashvin terms, roughly. I haven't looked, But we're basically 2.5 or 3 degrees apart, which you could say is a conjunction. So, especially since we're both on the north side, so Ashbin, right? Because the water fire barrier is very pronounced, it's very severe. It's mirrored in both the 27th, which is a major division, as the moon points out, and also the 12th and 18th, because it's a third. It's dividing everything in 3. So the point of Ashvin, the point of Magha, and the point of Mula. And I favor it. I favor the nakshatras because they keep the fact. So, for example, the point of Cancer in the nakshatras is just a pada. So it's not a new nakshatra. And the same for Capricorn. The point of Capricorn. So the point of Cancer is the last pada of Punarvasu. And Punarvasu being in a water sign. So the pada starts with Cancer. And so the last 3 would be Cancer, Scorpio is the middle. And then there's 9, so there's 4 left. Which means Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius. Yeah. No, sorry. It should start with Punarvasu. So last 3. Right? We're in air, water. Air, water is mostly air. Yeah. And then 1 pada in water. So the pada in water is going to be Cancer. So the one before that, the 3 before that is going to be Gemini, Taurus, Aries. Why was I in Aquarius? Oh, right. Gemini. Right, so Gemini starts with Libra. Right. So it's ends with Gemini. Right. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. So the point of Cancer is in the pada of Cancer of Punarvasu, and the point of Capricorn will be on the point of Capricorn in the pada of Capricorn, in the pada of Capricorn, sorry, of the nakshatra where are my notes? Oh. I just want to pronounce it properly now. Uttara Ashata. Uttara Ashata. Uttara Ashata. Uttara Ashata is... Wow. These people always blow you away. I'm guessing that what is his name? Alfonso, I think, the new Now, who interviewed Joel. The last one is really good. You should watch it. I think it's on Joel's channel. Episode 81, I think. And I think he's Udara Ashata. I think. It could be other stuff. But I'm guessing. Because then they would have a semi-sextile. Possibly. Or something like that. Around the 30 degree. There's a few things there around the 30 degrees. This is 27 degrees, which is interesting. 29 is a prime number, 31 is a prime number, right? So on either side, you also have something interesting. 29, 31, those are also very interesting in numerology because they surround 30. And yeah, 30 is a major number, right? It's 6 times 5. That's a big deal. So or 5 times 6. So here I did some of these are Phoenix degrees. So the first Phoenix, 138, 23 minutes is the equivalent in minutes. Right? So you can find all the 60 Phoenixes. There's 60. Well, the 60th goes back to the number in parentheses will go back to 0 on the 60th. Because there's 60 Phoenixes for 23 years. So in the world scale, there's 23 great years. That's probably what the real calendar is, the real beginning. So the new heaven and the new earth. So I made the timeline here. So this A phi, right? I call the A phi is the Anno Phoenix or Phoenix. And phi is Phoenix, right? It's the same. 138 is the golden angle. There, I can be in the frame. So, yeah, I made all the matches. You can see I was really confused about AC, BC. Well, when you go around a 0 year, it's quite confusing. And then I made some recent Phoenix dates on all 3 calendars right here, 40th to 50th. So I'm supposing that the last one is in 2178 AD, which is 6072 AM and 8280 Anno Phoenix. Sorry, yeah, 8280. And ironically, 2106 is 8208 Anno Phoenix. So it's right here. 2106 is, which is 6000 Anno Munis, is 8208. So it matches, like it's got all these patterns in there. It's just crazy. So it makes sense because then you get 60 Phoenixes. So you get 5 suns because you have 5 times 12, and the 12 is a 1656. That's why it's such a big component in the pyramid, because you can read the pyramid many ways. It's not necessarily just that they predicted the future. They felt the structure of this world. So the structure is a time-space structure. So they understood and felt enough of it to grasp the important points from what they had. They had more timeline than we do. The Enoch, whoever he is, Hermes, when he designed the pyramid, he broke astrology, basically, which is what all this is about. It's about understanding the calendrics, meaning the pattern, based on the solar cycle, which has the year, which also has the shar. And the shar is not a day, because this solar system would never make the year, which is the 0 degree Aries, the 0 degree north, going north, the sun being at the zenith, at 0 degrees on the equator, going north. That's the point of Ashvin, right? Ashvini. And from that to the next one is a year. But nothing in the solar system gives precise numbers like 360.000 or 0. We would say, well, the pyramid is to the thousandth of an inch, so 000. So 365.242 is in the pyramid very clearly in many dimensions, in the base, in the perimeter, and the length of each side. They both these numbers gives us 365.242. 365's 242. So that was the number of days back then. That's how they have this number. They couldn't have got this number from an insight, because nobody predicts the future. There's no prophet who gets a vision and he sees it like a piece of paper that says 365.242. No. That's what the number of days was back then. The reason the 360, the reason why a shar is also a unit of measure of cargo is because it's a degree. It's a division of the solar cycle, which means it's not even a unit of time. That's right. The degree passage of time, there's more degrees per time in the winter. When the sun is south, it starts to move north and south faster. So for each day, the sun moves north and south faster now than in Gemini and Cancer. So it's just a measure of the sun. It's a division. Why 360? Because of 138 and 60, which is 600 also. So we get 600, we get the 60, the sexagenary cycle, which they know about. That was the first thing that they discovered. It's very powerful. 6 is revered for that reason. And 5 times 6 is 30. And 5 is also revered for its power, because every 5 years also, and 50 years, there's something. And because 72 is so powerful, then 72 gives us, we get the 60 and the 6 and the 360, and we get the 365 days also, because there are signs in the heavens, signs, clues. So we get 365.242 from the heavens, just as we get 13 point da 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 and 27 point da 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 and 29 da 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 from the moon. The moon's ratios to the sun and to its own sine wave, because the moon has its own north-south sine wave, so that even another chart is needed for the moon, because they don't match. The point of Aries of the moon is different. Or sometimes it might coincide. So that's why we have the black moon. It's a point that has to do with the ecliptic of the moon. So these numbers are clues. Like we get 18 from Rahu. We get 29, but almost also 30 from Saturn. 12 from Jupiter. 49 from Uranus. So 138 is really the big clue, because 138 is the phoenix, and the phoenix represents Phi, which represents change in the sense that it's the spiral. It's the golden ratio. So it represents that which is irrational, but everywhere in nature. It cannot be rationalized, made into a fraction. So it's an approximation. 138 degrees is an approximation because in practice, phi is theoretical. It's not real. It's not like the leaf is a little bit off. The pantheon is a little bit off. There's always a margin of error. Even on the pyramid, it's 1/1000th of an inch. 1/50th really on the structure. The 1,000th of an inch is how flush the casing stones were with each other. Right, so these numbers give us the clues. For example, Jupiter gives us 12, and Jupiter is the king right now, the ruler of the gods. So that's why the cycle divided by 12 is so powerful. Now, that's a clue to why. Because it's Zeus, Jupiter, completion, that gives us this number. And it also works this way astrologically. So every 12 years, this is why I was saying there's 12 years in that stuff that I'm sorting through. So we're kind of closing up a cycle, a whole Jupiterian 12-year cycle, which is 2 times 6 or 3 times 4. So every time I pick something up, but now I'm working through this. And it's also why I went on a bit of a re-exploration of the cannabis plant, and because I had access. And it's good, but really it doesn't do anything, or it doesn't do enough for its cost right now for me. So it might offer a cost reward ratio that is attractive when other people are involved who can benefit from the insight more than me and can benefit from my presence. So a power plant helper also takes the plant. That's sort of standard, because that's why they go with them. By the way, unless you didn't know that. A good shaman also gets high with the student or the customer. But in terms of doing it for myself, I would rather do a 3-day plasma fast. So there's another announcement. So, okay, so let's combine all of this together and make an announcement, because this was going to happen anyway. It was already in the cards for a long time. I've been trying to tell people, but really, let's make this an announcement. So I guess you can make 1-minute cuts from YouTube, right? So let's make this 1 minute. Okay, so we need a chart to see where we are. Oh, right, 9 degrees and something. So 22nd minute of the 10th degree of Capricorn. 9 degrees, 21 minutes. And the moon is on the point of Virgo almost. And Rahu is... Rahu is... Where is he? 21 degrees, 9 minutes Aries. And going retrograde. So he's approaching the third decan. the point, the third decan, yeah. The first being 0, right? Aries. The third decan is the 4 of Wands. Here, let's keep this on hand. So I guess I'm gonna keep my cards so I can do this. I only need, well, I'm gonna bring the IDA because it's light, but I only need the pixel to shoot. It's more like an auxiliary camera. The 4 of Wands. Venus. Completion. Beautiful. So it should take, what, 1 degree, 9 minutes. How long does Rahu take? It takes 18 months, or a year and a half. We say a month, we really mean a sign, right? 30 degrees. It's funny. Anyway, so this won't go in really well. I have to fix that. Well then, so when the sun is going to be touching 11 degrees, right? So right now it's 9 degrees, 22 minutes. So in 24 hours, it'll be about that. But on the 11th degree, and then on the 12th degree, which is also in residence for me, because I'm a 6th degree. So this would be a 60th. Or maybe, no. I don't know, I have to find out. It's going to be some fraction of 60. So a 60th harmonic, as we call it, for me. And it'll also be 1, 2, well, it's a square to 10, so it's 100 degrees. 10/36, 5/18. Ooh. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, we just found our day. So let's go and see what the moon's doing. But the moon, whatever, you just get over it. And the moon is the adversary. 21 degree Virgo. Okay. So she's working her way to Libra. Perfect. Making 100 degrees to the sun as well. No, Virgo, sorry. Virgo is 100 degrees to 100. It's a trine to the 20th degree, so it's 110 degrees. 11/36. Moon, sun. The moon going south. So, and a wax and waning moon. So us going inward mentally and abandoning things. So yeah, perfect. And Rahu and a 5/18 with the sun that is starting to move a lot faster north on the 12th of Capricorn. So we start a 3-day Uberman challenge, and we have prizes in Hmm. So basically, the prize is who's liable for it, right? So if it's the Golden Phoenix, then the Golden Phoenix is liable. If it's the Legal Dragon Karma tokens, then the Legal Dragon is responsible for it. We need some kind of coalition here of. So if it's the Golden Phoenix, so basically we need a coalition that is official of the Golden Phoenix who makes themselves responsible for it. So right now it's only me, or maybe Anna. I don't know, but there isn't. It's not very clear. So, yeah, I can make it legal dragon tokens, and then what? There you go. Here's a. See, there's always going to be a simple answer. So here's the simple answer. I vouch to give 1 cent, right? So I use the dollar, the traditional dollar, the real dollar. So this is $10, the whole necklace. And this is $5. And this is about $10. Sorry, no. Yeah. Yeah, about $5 each. So this is $5. And it's a British pound. So 1 cent is about more than 1 USD, basically. But it's not legal tender. There's no the karma token has no legal obligation. So I don't have to pay anyone legally, which is why it's not an financial instrument. So it doesn't have to register or pass any regulation or ask for any permission to exist from anyone, because it's not a legal promise. It's just a karma token. So if you believe in karma, it's up to you. And if you think that person believes in karma, then it's up to you. So one day I may offer something for them and I may not. And if I do, I may be giving back a haircut. I may be giving back with more, depending on how I feel and how life has treated me. So, of course, these tokens are tokens, so they can trade. They will have like a date of emission, of course. So if there's any kind of increase in value or decrease in value on time, depending if I'm considered a creditor or a creditee in this karmic relationship, if I'm being funded or if I'm keeping that karma for them, like being a fiduciary, keeping this value for them, then I would either give back more or give back less. So it's up to you. This is the concept of the karma token. It bypasses all regulation, and it's based entirely on personal trust. There's no legal obligation on this instrument. None. It cannot be brought to a court of law as to asking for the courts to make it legally binding. It's not. It's declared explicitly in the token and by the issuer right now that this karma token has no legal obligation tied to it. If you make that clear, then there's no regulation. It's like if you deal below 48 or 50 volts in most countries, it's not regulated, so you don't need to be an electrician to install it. And if you don't have a motorized vehicle, if you're just pedaling a bicycle, you don't need to register and get a permit to ride. So these are all the right ways to do things. So we go 48 volt DC. We get bicycles, and we use karma tokens, and we call them. We base our unit of karma on the dollar, the real one, the gold dollar, which reestablishes a basic foundation understanding of what value is, what a dollar is. It's a weight of gold, 25 grains roughly, 24 and 7/8 of pure gold. So there are $1 coins. They were minted, and they would be about equivalent to 5 francs, or 1/5 of a pound. So 1/5 of this. It's pretty small. They were cute. They were minted starting around 1850, I believe. But it was a private gentleman and his venture. I just had it on my mind just a few days ago. Anyway, they're famous. They're a bit more heavy. I think they were 90+% purity, and they had 28 grains of weight. So they were around the same. And then later the United States government, which was a lot more legitimate than after 1902 when it was captured in the 1850, they actually officially declared that a dollar was 24 and 7/8 gram of gold minted. So it has no legal avenue after that to change. And nobody has even tried to, really. Nobody has redefined a dollar. It has never happened because they can't. It's a unit of measure. They can't change it. So I just wanted to touch on, the solar cycle offers its own key as to how to decode it, and it's dividing it by 360 because it's all based on vibrations, and the 360th vibration is really powerful. And so we measure the cycle of the sun, which does not keep the clock steadiness from our clocks that we make, which are supposedly constant. But the rotations, the cycle of rotation even of the firmament, I'm guessing, right, changes to the speed of movement of the sun. This is the only way that it can. That's basically why in the I forget the name now, but the pattern that the sun makes, if we take a picture of it from the same location each day at the same time, and it's going to go forward and back because it's moving. What is it? East in terms of proportionately to the firmament. It's moving east. So we measure it in terms of its position east in the firmament from the point of Aries being like wherever it was that year. So when it speeds up, it moves east faster, which means that it will start to show up behind on the picture if you take it exactly 24 hours. But if you wait for the zenith, so if you wait for the sun to be on the zenith when you take the picture and you don't care about the clock, you follow the astrological zenith of your meridian, then they're just going to show up and down, the suns. So people need to do that. And they can do both. They can compare, right? Which is why we need smart cameras and AI and turrets, so that the camera can take data all day with the sun, right? So many projects all of this essentially falls under the Golden Phoenix in one way or another, as far as I'm concerned, but also because the Golden Phoenix is basically going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, Lee's word, at least hopefully in part, so other people will want to take up those promises. So that's why I'm not like gonna lightly give away Golden Phoenix karma, because it increases the liability of the infrastructure, which doesn't make it attractive for people to become responsible for it. So if it has revenue, right, then it's different. If there's a flow of energy going towards it that can potentially be honestly channeled by someone like me into real uses for the Golden Phoenix. So this is all about building up this core council, people, and creating a transparent karma token system where the funds are controlled by the council, the karmic funds, we'll call them the karmic pool. There you go. So we need our whole new vocabulary, that way we avoid all of this problem with the power maniacs, the black magicians. Okay, so I don't have to keep this long. I can make another video later or tomorrow, which means I'll probably keep the mic. I'm guessing I'll see when I pack last, but I have another box that's not really attractive to sell, so people can buy all the mics except one, and then I'll keep this other junky box, which is actually lighter, until I get something else. But of course I want to switch. I understand now that we should have got lav mics, like really nice XLR lav mics, which is what I'm gonna get next. And Anna's gonna get one soon. I guess I'll do some research now and find out what the good models are. And I'll take more notes. And I have this new format now on Matrix, which I use, which is a bit clumsy, of course, because like this is what we have. But for example, you can see this is the thread today, and that's where I first shared the live. And on the main thing, it's just, this is our KX's latest live with Rise Above. Here's me. And then I'll just take a picture now. This is the 3 of discs right there. Right? And then I make a thread for the day. And then I talk about, okay, so when the 3 of discs works, right? All right. So I'm going to post more this way, hopefully daily. The Goldragon on Matrix, and also there you can find the Golden Phoenix if you're interested to become free. Golden Phoenix log. I think we have the Golden Phoenix space even. Here you can see like we do Buddhism, karmas, white Tara. Here's the mantra. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Mama Aju Punya Jnana Pushtim Kuru Svaha. I didn't do this right, but Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aju Punya Jnana Pushtim Kuru Svaha. See, I haven't done that one in a while. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtim Kuru Svaha. Here I'll do you the I don't need to look it up. I need to look up what it's called. Oh, I forgot what it's called. So I'm gonna just post everything on Matrix now, because then it's more organized, really. Namokar or Navkar mantra. Om Namo Arihantana. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Siddhanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Vajayanam. Namo Lo Esavasahunam. Eso Pamchanamukaro. Savapavanasano. Mangalanam Chasavisim. Padamam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Siddhanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Vajayanam. Namo Lo Esavasahunam. Eso Pamchanamukaro. Savapavanasano. Mangalanam Chasavisim. Padamam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Arihantanam. Om Namo Siddhanam. Om Namo Ayariyanam. Om Namo Vajayanam. Namo Lo Esavasahunam. Eso Pamchanamukaro. Savapavanasano. Mangalanam Chasavisim. Padamam Havai Mangalam. Sounds like I need a plasma nose rinse. So I'll leave you infinite beings on this note. Thanks for tuning in to this first episode, really, of a new Goldragon sort of semi-scheduled broadcast. So when I get settled in Jovel, the city of clouds in Chiapas, on a southeast facing hill on the outskirt of town, where I get the sunrise and I see the whole town every day. I don't need to go anywhere. And yeah. Then I think I'll just book it astrologically, so it'll depend on what's available. So yeah, and then when the AI comes around and she hooks up to this, she can help me to pre-schedule. But for now, we'll have to do it by hand. So right now is in the 10th degree of Capricorn. We are approaching the decan of the Three of Discs, as I said earlier. And you've seen it, but here, let me show you again. The Three of Discs. So this will be my travel deck. The small cards, but that's okay. You get to see it up close. Right? The Three of Works. The tetrahedron, I think you call this. If it's a three-dimensional image. See how she bends space? You see the sand dunes there or something. It's Earth, right? It's Earth. And then in 10 degrees we get to power. The sun. So don't give up. Behind works lays power. Thanks for tuning in. See you all soon. Bye-bye.